Hello everyone, this is JPL back for another thought topic. These thought topics are basically I'm presented with a topic and I put my thoughts into it. These videos are never edited, these are just my plain thoughts. It's as if you were to come to me in person, ask me this question, and I just give you everything I do. So there's going to be a lot of mistakes, it's very unprofessional, but that's the way I do things here. Today's topic that I'll be going over will be my top 10 favorite Clone Wars episode arcs. Now, this will be normally different from what I'm normally accustomed to. If you've seen any of my other review videos, normally when I do top videos, it's normally up to the top 5. For me doing top 10, it gives me a chance to go over a lot more episodes that I really enjoy that would not usually make my top 5 choice. Now, it is very difficult to rank episodes of the Clone Wars into 10 separate arcs because there are a lot of very good arcs, and I personally, ranking them doesn't really do anything for me because I love all of the arcs equally, and coming up with different arcs here is just very difficult because, again, there's a lot of good arcs. But I've gone through a look here, and I think I found a pretty decent arc set up here. They might not be the perfect, but from what I can think of, this works out pretty well. So going off with number 10, we have the Boba Fett arc. This is back in the Season 2 finale, where Boba Fett comes into the show for the first time. One reason why I really like this arc is because this was when I started watching the Clone Wars weekly. Before, I would just watch it whenever in a long series of episodes because I wasn't able to watch it where I was. When I finally got to here, I was able to watch these episodes, the rest of the season, and from then I was able to do things weekly. This may not be my favorite arc because it's number 10. It is still a good arc. Seeing Boba Fett's side on his anger towards Mace Windu, seeing him trying to kill Boba Fett, and his descent into the darkness of becoming a bounty hunter. Very interesting stuff, and I'm really sad to see pawns go away, and this was really dark. One of the darkest things that we had at this point in time. Moving on to number 9 is the Savage Opress arc. This would be the 3-episode arc from Season 3 when Savage Opress was introduced. I really enjoyed this because it was a yellow Darth Maul. And I remember when this first aired, this also aired alongside with when Ninjago first came out, so that's something to remember. But seeing this guy, he was really strong coming in and really powerful, and I just, there was an allure to him that was very intriguing that I wanted to see more of. And then, of course, the arc ends with the possibility of Darth Maul returning. And that's where we transition into number 8, Darth Maul's Return, the 4-episode arc from Season 4 finale. Now, Darth Maul's specific returns is the last 2 episodes, but I do also include the 2 episodes before that because they lead nicely into our finale. This was a big event when Darth Maul was returning. I remember this very vividly and just loving every minute of it. It was just very entertaining. Darth Maul, I loved this character. I really wanted to see him in his middle legs, and I was not disappointed. A really nice confrontation between him and Obi-Wan. And if now that I'm thinking of this probably should have been higher in my list, but the reason why it's not is because of the 2 episodes with Asajj Ventress that I did not really find fascinating. And going into number 7, we have the Ahsoka Tano arc. This is the Season 5 finale where Ahsoka Tano gets framed for the murder of a bunch of people. Now, me being me, I've never liked whenever my main characters get framed for something because I know that's not true. And then I know, okay, so I know what the story is about then. It has to be that we have to find a way to get our characters out of the situation. And that's always been the case whenever they do this. So I never liked them because it's always the same. It always had the same outcome. And even if they do change it up, it's just the point that I have to go through it that I don't like. The reason why I like it here is because at the end it's not really a good ending. So Katana, yes, we find out who framed the murder, and it wasn't her. It was Barasafi, which I'm still not happy that she was the character to do it, but what can you do? But her leaving the council was a really emotional moment. I get teary-eyed every time I watch that scene, and it's one of the best moments in Star Wars to come. And the reason why it's not higher in my list is because, well, it's an arc about being framed and running from the law. Not my favorite stuff, and so what I have afterwards is usually my more favorite stuff. Going into number 6, it would be the Season 6 finale with Yoda, the Force arc. Now, this is an interesting series of episodes. I include this as a 4 or 3 episode arc, which includes the Sifo DS episode. So I'm betting it's the 3 episodes. So those 3 episodes, I enjoy them. I like the Sifo DS aspect of it. I enjoy the mystery behind everything. But the whole Force arc of becoming a Force ghost is just a really weird arc. It's not an arc that I normally think of whenever I think of this show. I think of other stuffs that you're going to be seeing coming up. And while this is still a very good arc, it's not my favorite. And the quality of this arc is lowered a tiny bit because Tim Curry's performance as Palpatine. He doesn't do a bad job, but he's nowhere near the quality of Ian Abercrombie, and it's really weird to listen to him being Palpatine when we've had the other guy for so long and he's just fantastic. And with that said, we shall go and move on to number 5, The Box. Now this is a very odd arc to have on my list here, but the reason why I love this arc is the center on the bounty hunters. More specifically for me is Cad Bane. I personally love Cad Bane. He's my very favorite character of the show. And to have him come here, lead a mission, and do this really cool routine of getting all the bounty hunters together, escaping prison, being in disguise, is fantastic. And it ends with Obi-Wan quote-unquote dying, which is very confusing for little kids because they know what happens later. But this is personally a really fun arc to watch. I enjoy it very much every time I watch it. And the ending fight between Count Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan was just, it's perfectly done, and it's so fantastic, and that's why it's on my number 5 spot. Going to number 4, continuing with the Cad Bane theme, we have my Cad Bane arc. This would be the Season 1 premiere with the 3 episodes with Cad Bane. You could include the Season 1 finale because of the connection between Season 1 and 2. And so, yeah, I love Cad Bane. He was just really fantastic in this arc. He was always one step ahead, even when he was behind. And so, there's nothing much I can say. It's a really cool arc. I like this Clint Eastwood-esque to it, and it's so great. Moving on to number 3, a really, really good one. The Umbara arc. I love every episode of this arc because it's full of action, it's full of death. This season, in Season 4, was promoted to be in the front lines of action, which is what we got in these 4-episode arc. And the reason why I just love this arc so much is the ending when Krell becomes the bad guy, and we have this whole fight between Krell and the clones. Another reason why this one is just really personal is because this is the episode where Waxer dies. And I really liked Waxer when he was in the Ryloth arc. I loved the whole thing with him and Numa. And it was really sad to see like that Numa drawing that he had on his helmet, and sad to see him die. And it's just a well-executed story arc, and I cannot say enough about it. Moving on to number 2 is the Order 66 arc. This is where Fives and Tup go in undercover and find the chips in their heads. Well, Tup dies. Doesn't know anything about it. But for Fives, yeah, he finds everything out, but he dies in the end. And the reason why I really like this arc is the mystery for Order 66. It explains how the clones were turned against the Jedi. Very cool stuff. And for long watching fans, it's just an end of an arc. Fives was in the very first season, in the 5th episode, Rookies, and we get to see his journey throughout the show, with him becoming a part of the 501st, with him becoming an ARC trooper, with him losing all his friends, his brothers, and to the bitter end, we have a fantastic story to tell. And this is one of the moments with him dying at the end that I always think of when I think of Star Wars, Clone Wars. And now to my number 1 episode, story arc. This would be the Darth Maul arc. This is not the Returns. This is the season 5 episode where Darth Maul creates an army, joins Death Watch with Mandalore, and kills Duchess Satine. I almost cry every time I watch that story arc. Every time I watch that moment, it's so tragic. It's something we've been building up to. All the pieces coming together. We have the Mandalorian's arc finally ending. We have the Darth Maul arc ending here. And this was one of the final performances out of Ian Abercrombie, doing a fantastic job as the Emperor, who we got to fight Darth Maul, which was one of my favorite fight scenes in all of Clone Wars here. And then the tragic scene with the death of Satine, which, it's so sad and I love it so much. And we had to see the death of Vizsla, which was a pretty cool fight. See the honor of it. Seeing the civil war between the Mandalorians. It's really cool stuff. And honestly, this is probably the best things we can ever come of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Probably the best of Star Wars ever. And I love it so much. I cannot say it enough. And so yeah, these are my top 10 story arcs of the Clone Wars. If your favorite story arcs is not part of this, it means because 10 parts is just, it's difficult to put which one I like more than the other, which one I feel like watching more than the other. So yeah, a good arc, good episode. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.